What's going on, everybody? Rob here, Trev2323. We're going to talk about this Growatt inverter right now. This is the first time, if you know, I never plug it into the grid. I come down myself and manually plug my fish tanks into it when the sun's out, and when the sun's off, I unplug it from here and I plug it into the grid. But we were out all day, so it was nice and sunny out, so I figured I'll let the fish tanks run off of this. But I wanted to show you with this plugged into the grid, the difference in power. And that fish tank, that light, that fish tank, behind there's two air pumps. There's that pump right there, that filter back there, and that tank has a heater in it. It's running all that, okay? That's what the sun was running. So right now, it'll charge this battery up, and after the battery goes down to the predetermined voltage, it goes back to the grid. So right now, it's not using anything from the grid. The whole thing is running off of this battery. So if you could check right now, it'll show you. Right now, there's nothing running from the grid at all. So 58 minutes was actually used from the grid. So far, only for 1 hour has been used from the grid. Now, if we switch the function around, it used 0.88 kilowatts hours today. 0.88 kilowatt, not even one whole kilowatt hour. On average, 125 volts. There's no amps being drawn right now, but the low was 136 watts it was pulling, but the high was 1022 watts that it was pulling. Okay? So, but if you can see right now, it only takes from the grid when this gets your predetermined low value for your battery. Then it'll connect back to the grid, charge your battery back up, and then use your battery. So let me try to see what time this is about. God, hold on. Okay, it's 6:43 p.m. right now. Pitch blackout. 6:43. Sunset was at 4:41. Sunset was at 4:41. It's 6:43. I was trying to wait to show you when this battery gets a certain voltage. At 53 volts, it'll connect back to the grid. But one of these, they're really cool because it shows you how much usage you're using. Like I says, I used 58 minutes of power. The low was 136 watts. The high was 1022 watts. And we use 0.88 kilowatt hours so far. So if you have those and anything you want, you could put this to calculate your electricity and it will tell you how much it's cost. But so this is what I got plugged into the grid, plugged into this, plugged into the Growatt. Okay, but like normally this isn't into the grid at all, but it was such a nice sunny day that I just left it plugged in. I plugged it into the grid just because I know it's like clockwork for me that this thing really does work. Now, if I had, here's where the battery backup comes in. More solar panels and more battery backup. If I had, so I got 3 strings right now. 3 strings. So if I get my 4th string and then go parallel and have like 4 strings, but have those parallel to have like total of 8 sets of panels, it'll be about, say, 3,000 watts. But so with the full sunshine, yes, you would be able to power more stuff. But when there's no sunshine, that's when the cost comes in batteries. So I'm about $600 for this battery right now because I replaced that BMS already one time. But if you buy these, you're looking at $1,700. So now with the battery, say, okay, well, I just got this one. With the batteries, just like the solar panels, now you would go parallel. And I think the big batteries, you could go 8 parallel, so that's how it builds your kilowatt hour. The Life Power EG4 is, I think, a 5 kilowatt. So you see, I use 0.88 kilowatts within the past, say, 2.5 hours. You know, so 5 kilowatts, you got to try, you get enough batteries that's going to power your stuff through the night until the sun comes out. That's the first part. But then after that, you got to try to power it like for 2 months. We haven't had sunshine. So either way, I just wanted to show you what this used from my grid today because I rarely have it plugged into the grid. Subscribe, like, and share.